Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast, where we run down all the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. And it was a busy week last week, mostly filled with some big stories, not so much a lot of big stories, but a handful of big ones. And we're going to start the show off with Glaxon, who reformulated its amino supplement Xeno Amino, and this is the second time it's done it, so this will be version 3. The supplement came out, was one of the earlier products it launched, and then we got V2, I believe it was around this time last year, and then they've dropped V3 this month, which doesn't see too many big changes. They've still got 10 grams of aminos per serving. It's now broken down into 5 grams of BCAAs and then 5 grams of their MyoSeq amino blend, whereas in the previous version you got 10 grams of just the MyoSeq blend, not that separate transparent amount of BCAAs. Alongside that you still get hyaluronic acid, astrolite, electrolyte blend, taurine, estrogen to enhance absorption, and then the newest addition, or the new feature in the supplement, is velocitol, the muscle protein synthesis enhancer. You typically see it in protein powders, as it's known for its ability to really double the power of your protein. That's the catchphrase they promote with it. Glaxon has included it at a full 2 grams per serving. So if you throw down the 2 scoops of Xeno Amino, you will get that full 2 grams and the 10 grams of aminos. One other area that Glaxon has said it's improved for Xeno Amino, and this is outside of the formula, is the flavor department. The brand wasn't quite satisfied with the way the V2 tasted, and it's said to have really improved in this area for the third version. It has 3 flavors to choose from to start. 2 of those are entirely new, while one of them is from the previous version of Xeno Amino, and that is sour berries, which has been improved as well. So while it is from the V2 lineup, it has had its tweaks and changes to make it better, while the other 2 are homemade lemonade and gummy watermelon. You can check them out on the site or head to Glaxon's website, glaxon.com, to purchase them. They're available for $44.99 each, and they still have the same amount of servings per tub with Glaxon's usual unique number of 21 maximum servings, or if you half it, you can get 42 out of the tub. We next go to Aware Nutrition, a Swedish sports nutrition company, who is still relatively new. I think it's probably serviced for the past couple of years. I think it might have been a year. It's still quite new, but the news this past week from Aware was that it has relaunched its Aura 7 pre-workout that we saw it come to market with earlier this year. Now, it wasn't promoted as a limited edition thing that I can recall, but it did sell out incredibly quickly and has not returned since. This weekend, or this past weekend, Aware Nutrition finally brought it back, but it did so with several changes to the point where the original it wasn't bad, it was just very moderate. It was sort of like a lighter dose version of the brand's original pre-workout. It wasn't anything supremely impressive. Now, for the new version of Aura 7, which has just been branded and labeled as Aura 7, the company has really just loaded the shit out of this thing. Basically what it's done is, and this is something I've seen a few brands do in the past, but so if you can at all recall the original, I'm pretty sure it has something like 30 servings per tub. Now in the new version, you get 33, but while the first version was 30 full servings, this one is 33 half servings. So kind of like how you have Glaxon's, even just the Xeno Amino, to get the full dose, you get 21 servings. But if you halve it, you obviously get half of everything, but you get 42 servings. So what Aware Nutrition has done for its new Aura 7 is it's basically changed from that 30 serving approach from the previous or the original Aura 7 and gone to 33, which is an extremely odd number, half servings basically. And then if you double that amount, you get the full experience. So it's a lot fewer servings per tub than that previous one, which had, like I said, it had 30 full servings. This one now has 16 and a half full servings. But the trade-off is that you get a much more robust formula, and this thing is pretty stacked. Don't mind the pun. So you get 9 grams of pure citrulline per maximum serving, so 4.5 in the single. And that is a big amount. I've only seen a handful of brands get that high. Only 1 or 2 go over the 10. But that's pure citrulline as well, not citrulline malate. And then you get 4 grams of beta-alanine, 1.5 of tyrosine to help with focus. Theanine's in there as well as hordenine, PEA, a gram of choline, 400 milligrams of caffeine, and then 10 milligrams of black pepper. So it's a pretty straightforward formula. You don't get anything too surprising. All reliable ingredients, all at pretty solid dosages. So that's kind of the big sell on this one, is you get fewer servings, but the experience is much better than the first version of Aura 7, at least on paper. But if you still want to tone it down and get that, I guess, lighter experience of the first Aura 7, you can just have the regular serving and get 33 per tub. Either way, it's a big jump from the last one. Well worth checking out. Pretty cool to see. Rather than the brand just bring back the original Aura 7, it put a bit of twist on it. So well worth checking out, especially for everyone in that area, because I said it's a Swedish brand. We move from Aware Nutrition over to the gaming supplement company G Fuel, who we've mentioned countless times on this podcast because they have been relentless this year as well as last year, dropping special edition collaborations, flavors, products, you name it, they've done it. And this past week it was no different, with some extremely interesting concepts. So we've seen G Fuel put out collaborations, flavors, and they've been things that you can drink and touch and enjoy. And while that may sound weird, it'll make sense very soon. So G Fuel has partnered and done another collaboration, but this time it is also a collaboration of flavors, but this time the brand has not put together flavors you can actually, touch or enjoy, or at least drink and get the benefits of G Fuel. So G Fuel has put together 5 virtual flavors in partnership with the artificial intelligence robot rapper FNK Mecca, who is a virtual influencer rapper found on social media. And as I mentioned, he's an artificial intelligence powered rapper. So that's kind of, I guess, how this is. You've got these virtual flavors and this partnership with the virtual influencer and rapper. It kind of nicely ties together in that sense. But the way these are going to work is that the brand is not selling them. Well, not really. It's giving them away in partnership with the virtual influencer FN Mecca. I believe you have to go follow him, and there's a few things you need to do on TikTok, and the full details are on their website. But basically, once you've entered, the brand is looking for 149 winners. Now, 49 of those winners are going to get a gold tier G Fuel NFT, which is one of those virtual flavors that I mentioned, and then a G Fuel starter kit code, and then there are going to be 100 silver tier G Fuel NFT winners, and they'll also get that G Fuel starter kit code, which I couldn't find what that was actually related to, just that it's valued at $14.99. But the virtual flavors are pineapple penny, banana dog, cherry bomb, and strawberry mon, and they're going to be the virtual flavors that have got the NFTs that you'll win by entering the contest through TikTok. And as I mentioned, there is 5. The 5th one is a little bit different. So the 5th one is ghost pepper. Now, this is a one-of-a-kind minted NFT, while the others will be obviously with 149 winners. There won't be just one of those. There's only going to be one of the Ghost Pepper G Fuel NFTs minted, and that is actually going to be auctioned off. I believe it is next month through I was trying to figure out the website, OpenSea, and it'll be auctioned off in October. So if you're a diehard fan, it's no-brainer. Get your hands on these. Very unique thing to do. Not the first time we've seen a supplement company get into the world of NFTs, but pretty cool way for G Fuel to do it. It's both surprising and not surprising to see G Fuel do it this way. And teaming up with FM Mecca was a pretty interesting little concept. And again, it just shows G Fuel marketing team at their best once again, pumping things out, showing that they can get creative and interesting without actually making a product that you can hold in your hands. Very cool, very awesome to see. It'd be even cooler if they could eventually actually turn one of these into something, even if it would be the Ghost Pepper. It just, they continue to pump things out, continue to do things differently, and this is, again, it's not really a supplement you can take and have benefits and whatever from, but it's a cool thing for fans, diehard fans of G Fuel to see and interact with and enjoy. It's those little things that you do outside of the main supplements and products that are always cool. Kind of like how Recon One has the gyms, Animal Packers does the cage at events, although the events have been non-existent these past couple of years. But really awesome to see. You can check it out on our site for full details. But the next story we have is from Apollo Nutrition, who has been absolute dynamite this year. I know they've been really pushing, really pumping new products out. Really showing the industry, it's not a pushover. It's a hardcore brand, and it kicks ass. And they've been just relentless with the releases. I'm pretty sure they've done one every month, sometimes two, whether it be a flavor, a new product, and a limited something. It's just been awesome. And each supplement has always had their reputable Apollon formula that's just jacked up, packed full of shit, and and they're delivering results and effects. And this past week we got another supplement, and what it is actually is it's quite interesting. I think we might have talked about it on the previous episode of the podcast. If not, what the hardcore brand has done is it's brought back its limited edition pre-workout Double Impact. Now, this is a pre-workout that was launched earlier in the year that brings together the highlights and benefits of its 2-star pre-workouts, Assassin and Hooligan, and kind of blends them together to kind of give you an experience in between the two. Kind of the best of both worlds sort of thing, or at least an experience in between the two. And basically the brand has resurrected it. It was a limited product, as I said earlier in this year, came out, been and gone. And they've decided to bring it back and create Double Impact 2.0, and there are just a few tweaks that they've made. Of course, pretty much every time Apollo launches something, it's got some sort of tweak to it, and you still get all the big key highlights, including 7 grams of pure citrulline, 2.5 of betaine, 3.5 of beta-alanine. However, there are, like I said, there's a few tweaks to kind of balance it out and make it a better formula. Every ingredient from the previous version, every ingredient and dose has remained. However, DMAA and isopropyl have been removed, and in place, the brand has added 300 milligrams of Juglans Regia, as well as lowered the dose of the alpha-yohimbine slightly by 20% to 2 milligrams. So it's minor tweaks, all in the effort that Apollon has usually been talking about. It's when it comes out, especially with supplements, it's done a few times, like Assassin and Hooligan. Its goal isn't necessarily to make it stronger every time, mostly better, balanced, just a more efficient or even just a more enjoyable experience. Still delivering the effects you need, but with touches and tweaks to make it better, which doesn't always mean more intense or harder hitting. And so that was the goal with Double Impact 2.0, and it is out now, and it is a limited edition, much like the first version. So if you want to get your hands on it, whether you tried the first one, missed out, tried it, and want to get your hands on it again, it's available now. Still the same price, I think. Might be, actually, I'm trying to remember now. It's around the same price, we'll say. as the original, and you get the same full 20 servings per tub. The next story we go to is from Bang Energy, who came out and started teasing its next new flavor. Now, this is something we haven't seen from them as often as we used to, but this flavor looks extremely interesting. I'm going to make the story quick just because it's a teaser, so we don't know the full name of the flavor. We know the colors. Now, the colors on this thing are brown and orange. So if you go to our website, type in Bang, or even just orange Bang or whatever, you'll see, you get a glimpse of the picture. And basically, it's got the new Bang look with the white can and the swirl down the middle behind the Bang logo. The two colors you have in there are brown and orange. Now, a lot of people, including myself, initially jumped to something like ginger beer or root beer, but it's kind of ruled out because the brand does have, I think it's root beer blaze. The only other thing that comes to mind looking at this is something like a coffee or a chocolate. And, the thing is when it comes to guessing Bang's flavors based on colors, it's next to impossible. While that was previously the case when they started doing things like Rainbow Unicorn and Radical Skedaddle, that just all went out the window because, these colors aren't necessarily related to flavors that you're familiar with. And not only can the brand get creative in terms of taste, but it can get creative in terms of name. And then the colors related to that creative, unique name. So we don't have a guess for this, but the colors scream something like chocolate, which I would think would be very interesting on an energy drink. So I have no idea. More details will be out on it soon. I think they are letting you pre-order this one on the VPX Bang Energy website. So you can, if you believe in the flavor without seeing the name or know what it tastes like, you can secure yourself some cases and get your hands on it as soon as it rolls out. But for now, the brand is still teasing, and we will share the full reveal when it is out, which I have to imagine is sometime this week or next. We now shoot over to the last two big stories or groups of stories we have, and they were pretty awesome. We're going to kick this off with a huge one from Raw Nutrition, who, I'm trying to remember if we had talked about this on a previous episode, but if not, Chris Bumstead, a longtime athlete of Jack Factory, the Canadian company, announced that he was leaving Jack Factory, going on to a new and exciting opportunity. And he said in his vlog or something, he said you could probably guess what it is. And so the immediate thing that came to mind was a supplement company. He was going to start his own supplement company, only because that's what you see pretty much every athlete kind of do these days. You've just got so many, and they have such big audiences. It makes sense. You got an audience that you can reach directly, and it's not too difficult to start a supplement company with the amount of brands and people that seem to be coming up. That was kind of what we suspected. But last week he came out and announced that was not the case, that he was joining Raw Nutrition as a co-owner. And that caught me by surprise. I definitely didn't see that coming. I definitely wouldn't have guessed it. And he kind of said that it was going to be coming on board to, I guess, work in the background, just traditional co-owner things, and really bring up the brand, which was interesting to hear because, again, Raw Nutrition is a pretty solid company that only launched early last year and has done a great job to build its name and reputation in the short time it's been around. But shortly after Chris announced his joining Raw Nutrition, we kind of saw exactly what he meant by getting behind and getting some stuff done. So a few days after Chris announced his partnership, he previewed his own supplement. Now, all we could see in the preview was the word CBum, which is his Instagram handle, the line "Don't be a pussy, take 2 scoops," and the Raw Nutrition logo all on a tub that's white on blue. So the immediate thing we thought about was that he's coming out with a pre-workout, the "Don't be a pussy, take 2 scoops" thing that's very reminiscent and very related to a pre-workout. And then obviously it's got the CBum marking and the Raw marking, so you have to think some sort of special edition Raw Nutrition supplement. And it also says something about, don't mix this with other stimulant supplements. So again, all things are kind of pointing at this being a special edition CBUM series pre-workout from Raw Nutrition. However, we're not sure if it's like a special edition version of one of their already available pre-workouts, such as Raw Pre or Raw Pre Extreme, or it's an entirely new one that he's formulated and put together himself. The fact that we saw this, 2-3 days after the announcement of him joining it, suggests that we're probably going to be seeing this supplement available or even revealed much sooner than expected. And in addition to that, Chris Bumstead also confirmed that after joining Raw, he got a lot of feedback from fans saying that they felt the pre-workout from Raw Nutrition was a little bit expensive, and they're not wrong. The pre-workout itself, the original pre-workout from Raw Nutrition, Raw Pre, sits at $58.99. Now that is quite high, and that's how much it's been since I think the brand launched, as far as I remember. But yeah, Chris took in feedback from fans, and within the few days that he joined, apparently talked to the brand, and they are bringing down their pre-workouts by $10. And I thought that was a really cool thing to see, just to show, just to do something like that. Because he didn't need to do that. Maybe it was something they were going to do. I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed from a fan perspective, it was really cool to see. Just Chris come on board, preview pre-workout, getting things done. Then he's just like, okay, fans are saying the product is too expensive, brings it down by 10. It's still relatively pricey, $48.99. It's still up there, but just to see him and show that effort was pretty cool to see. And again, all this within the first few days of him being a part of Raw Nutrition. So I suspect, based on that rate, we're probably going to see a whole lot more of Chris and Raw Nutrition doing things, expanding, developing and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. And for both of those stories, if you want to check them out, just head to our website, just type up Raw Nutrition. The last story of the podcast episode is a pretty big one we've been expecting and we got a hint at earlier in the year, and that is the Ghost protein shake, which just came out of left field. They teased it for I don't think they teased it, I just know that I'm pretty sure they just dropped it. Ghost came out and completely revealed its Ghost protein shake, which is the protein RTD from the Lifestyle brand. It'll be its second beverage, of course, counting the original Ghost energy drink. The Ghost protein shake is, of course, in a completely different category. It is a high protein RTD, packing 25 grams of protein, 4 to 4.5 grams of fat, 5 to 6 of carbs, only a gram of sugar and fiber, and 160 calories. Now, those macros do vary, of course, from flavor to flavor, and there are going to be 2 to start, both of which are available for the regular Ghost Whey protein powder, and that includes the original cereal milk flavor, one of Ghost's first ever Ghost Whey flavors, and then its authentic collaboration, Chips Ahoy, which does have slightly higher calories. I believe it's 160 compared to the cereal milk at 150. Sorry, actually no, they both have the same 160. Sorry about that. I think both at 160 calories, but and Chips Ahoy obviously was the flavor from the Ghost Whey protein powder, and it's the only one to be available in that larger tub size that we posted about not too long ago. But the interesting thing about the RTD, not only that it's Ghost, so it's probably going to taste pretty damn good. Flavors is one of the things they're known for. You've got Chips Ahoy in the mix. You've got cereal milk, two of its more enjoyable, unique experiences. And the macros aren't super lean, as I've mentioned many times before. Typically, when you see things leaner in macros, whether it be even a protein shake or mostly functional foods, but when you see things super high in protein or super low in carbs and fat, the taste sometimes it's not as good as some that had less protein and more carbs or whatever. Ghost is right around that amount where it's probably going to deliver a pretty solid taste. Again, it's Ghost. You can rely on them for the flavor side of things. But one of the interesting parts about this is that Ghost has transparently dosed the protein in this. So for those unfamiliar with what that means, is you obviously have transparently dosed pre-workouts and aminos, and that's where they list the exact amount of each ingredient you get per serving. This is very common for pre-workouts and aminos. It's been done for years, decades even. However, it is not at all common for protein powders. Now, you may be wondering what that means because they don't have the supplement facts listing out all the ingredients. It's a different kind of thing. A transparent protein is where if a protein powder has various different sources, say like a blend of whey concentrate and isolate, the brand goes out of its way really to put on the label, whether it be in the other ingredients section or even in a separate part of the label, to tell you how much of each source goes towards that 25 grams of protein or whatever the amount be per serving. The reason this is important, because if you get like a blend that say it's isolate first, concentrate second, so let's say concentrate first and then isolate second, and they both give you 25 grams of protein, one of those could be 51% whey concentrate and 49% whey isolate. So you still get a good amount of isolate. You could also play the other way. It could be 99% whey concentrate and 1% whey isolate. So you don't necessarily know, if it's a blend of concentrate and isolate and they've just put the isolate on the label to just say it has isolate, but you may not be getting a fair amount. You may not be getting kind of what you're thinking you'll be getting. So it's always good for the blends to kind of go that transparent route, especially if you're someone who is a big fan of protein powders and you buy the blends to get that balanced amount of all the different sources. So this is something Ghost does on its Ghost Whey protein powder. It's not common. You don't see it in all that many protein powders. Obviously, you're not going to see it for a protein powder that has one source. But there's only not that many brands do it. Now, Ghost has done it for its RTD. And the blend is different in this one than it is in the Ghost Whey. So for that 25 grams of protein, 15 of that is from milk isolate and the other 10 is from whey concentrate. And I believe Ghost Whey is the isolate and concentrate blend. And this is important mostly because I don't think I've ever seen a brand do this. You see it fairly rarely, but you still see it a good amount in protein powders, but you don't see it in protein RTDs. I can't recall a time I've ever seen it in protein RTDs. And while it does make sense, because like I said, Ghost goes full transparency, they've done it on their protein powder. You could have guessed that they were going to do this, but it's just something you never really counted on. And again, awesome to see. Just another thing that Ghost does, it kind of sets it apart and gives you that little bit of extra Ghost, splash. So the product itself, as far as I know, I don't know exactly when it's going to have a full public launch, but all this week, Ghost is doing what it did for its Ghost, its Bubblicious Strawberry Splash Ghost energy drink. So if you can remember that, basically they had an exclusive through their app where they were going to give away a bunch of cans every day at a specific time. And you just basically had to get in, you're limited to one can each, and you just had to pay shipping. So it was basically free product, pay shipping, get it sent down to you, but maximum of one. That's what Ghost is doing all this week for its Ghost protein shake. However, it's doing it in much bigger quantities than it did for that Bubblicious energy drink. So every day this week, every weekday, so not Saturday or Sunday, Ghost is putting up 500 bottles of its Ghost protein shake in its app at midday Central Time. So you just need to hit that app at midday Central Time, get in, grab one of the shakes, pay shipping, and you're done. Obviously, this is an extremely limited opportunity, so if you don't get it, you're not in there right away, then don't be surprised that you miss out. I imagine this will be a huge demand for that, and it will be 250 of each flavor. So there'll be 250 of cereal milk and 250 of Chips Ahoy. So in total, 500 a day, and then 5 days, 2,500 bottles. So it's a lot of bottles, a lot of opportunities. And again, well worth getting in on if you're a fan. I imagine, if I remember correctly, Bubblicious had this little exclusive launch. By the way, I think I said this, but it's all exclusive through the app. But Bubblicious had this same style launch, and then it wasn't too long after that it then became available for everyone to purchase. So if you don't have the time of day, it will be available soon, but obviously, again, if you're a diehard fan, it's something you want to get in on. If you'd like a closer look at any of those flavors, the Ghost Protein Shake, head to the website, and more details on that launch promotion campaign is on there as well. Just go to the site, stack3d.com, type in Ghost Protein Shake, or it should be even at the top of the homepage. But once again, thank you for listening. Look forward to having you back next time. And as always, follow the site